Thank you all. Thanks for joining and taking the time to go over. Actually, security is turning out to be more and more of an interesting and a hot topic when it comes to cloud. And actually, from our standpoint, security is becoming more of an enabler and less of a kind of a traditional role of just being the bad cop of deploying new applications. And I'm going to be talking a little bit about that. Um, this presentation is part of our overall launch here in reInvent. We've launched a large variety of new security offerings and security integrations into AWS, and you can see that in our website. But basically, the topic for today is cloud security a zero-sum game, really? Is it kind of either you get security or you get productivity? And traditionally, security has been thought of as kind of the application guys are going to build stuff and need to get more productive and enhance features for the business and so on. And the security guys are the ones that are holding them back and saying, hey, you can't do this and you can't do that. And it's really been about this balancing act of, okay, how fast do I want to go versus how secure do I want to be? And the question is, with the realm of cloud and new opportunities the cloud presents to us, does that necessarily have to be the case? Or can we really escape that paradigm and start thinking of security in a different way or not? So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to talk a little bit about how we can help our customers secure their journey to the cloud. And I'll give a more specific example about technologies that can really help escape this paradigm of security versus productivity, or what moves faster, really. Most of us are probably familiar with the shared responsibility model. And the shared responsibility model, really what it talks about, it outlines the fact that really the cloud provider is responsible for securing their infrastructure, right? We trust AWS to give us a resilient, robust, available infrastructure and isolate between tenants, kind of give each tenant their own kind of virtually isolated environment, right? So that's their part. But at least research indicates that by 2020, 95% of the failures associated with applications that are running in the cloud are actually going to be the customer's fault. Misconfiguration, not being attentive to detail, and so on. So I think we're all pretty familiar with that. Actually, newer statistics show a higher rate of failures that are actually associated with the customer itself, but because the customer is responsible for really securing everything he touches. So everything you touch, a customer touches in the cloud, builds a new application, spins up a new instance, a new container-based application, deploys a new workload, a new set of functions in Lambda or whatnot. Anything that the customer is actually, in data that's stored in the cloud, that's the customer's responsibility to secure that. The cloud will not offer that additional layer of security automatically. You'll need to build that and configure that and manage that. And our approach at Fortinet is a three-pillar approach into cloud security, helping our customers get that same level of confidence that they have on-premise with their applications and products, but just in the cloud. And that's achieved through, first of all, native integration into the cloud, leveraging cloud connectors that we have that really plug into the cloud, pull all the information, labels, tags, assets that are there, so you can use that information for defining policies with our connectors. Then stitches and automation stitches that kind of leverage services that are available by the cloud in order to build the same types of capabilities that you have in your applications, whether it's scaling out, scaling down, shutting things up, shutting things down, and so on, kind of leveraging the same types of services that you have in your applications, but for your security infrastructure. So we have pre-built automation templates that can react to all kinds of situations. And obviously, the different systems have a full-blown web services API as well. So that's kind of that native integration into that cloud ecosystem in operation. So you want to have that, first of all, as the foundation to building any type of security in the cloud. Second tier is really the broad protection. So you want to have the same type of capabilities, the same broad set of security protection capabilities in the cloud as you have on-premise. And being able to, if you want to migrate all the same types of applications over to the cloud. So having a FortiGate next generation firewall, FortiWeb web application firewall, FortiMail security, FortiSandbox, FortiClient, and so on. These are important capabilities that you want to be able to have inside the cloud for that broad protection, providing that broad layer of protection to your different applications. And then last but not least is definitely the management side, management and automation. You want to be able to, from a single point, manage your entire infrastructure, hybrid cloud, on-premise, off-premise, have one set of policies being defined, managed across, without any special considerations of whether this resource or this application is running in this location or another, and that really simplifies life when you want to start moving applications from different types of infrastructures. So having that single tier of management that is fully automated as well. So these are kind of the three pillars that we're building our security solution based out of. And let me give you a few more examples. And obviously, these are not very much up to date in terms of the complete kind of reference outline, but it gives an idea of how this plays into the cloud. So customers are using cloud for various purposes and functions, right? So you want to be able to have the different security capabilities that are built into the cloud the same way as you have them on-premise. So with the Fortinet Security Fabric, which different systems and devices are interconnecting and autonomously exchanging security threat intelligence and information between them, you can really achieve that at scale and across a very diverse and heterogeneous environment, right? So you have the ability to place a large variety of systems inside the cloud that can provide that protection, and then hook up different environments, whether it's VPCs in the cloud, whether it's branch offices, other data centers, in and leveraging these services. And these are all pretty much integrated, whether from both a VPN connectivity, kind of secure connectivity standpoint between locations, as well as from a data inspection and network isolation perspective between these different locations. And I'm going to outline a few key use cases that really show how customers can benefit from this consistent security protection across the different locations, right? How that can be implemented. The multi-layer security benefits here of, again, multi-layer is all about being able to use the same applications that you have on-premise in the cloud, not being pretty agnostic onto where the infrastructure is, onto the selection of the applications, and then being able to continuously manage and have that operations integrated into your existing kind of more agile mode of operation. So a few of the use cases that we're seeing that are pretty popular, the first one being the inside-out security. So for more contained environments where you have maybe one or two applications where it's not more of an infrastructure move, but it's more on an application-by-application basis. So you want to have the east-west security, being securing traffic between instances by using your FortiClient. They can help and kind of check the compliance and so on for the different instances. You want to have that north-south protection, right, using the FortiGate VM that is sitting in the edge of really your internal cloud-based network, right? And you want to have that API layer protection with FortiCASB, right? So FortiCASB connects into the cloud API, AWS API, runs through configuration assessments, verifies it against compliance, CIS templates, sees what your situation is. And obviously, these features are continuously improving to give our customers more streamlined operation and easier way to get more secure across your entire infrastructure. And think of it in a context of a broader deployment, right? The second use case is kind of that ability to take these same business critical applications from on-premise into the cloud without necessarily needing to change your practice around security. So you want to have that advanced application protection capability with the FortiGates, next generation firewall sitting up front, having the FortiWebs or FortiMails protecting the relevant applications behind that, and then FortiSandbox being able to do some zero-day analysis for different traffic, working alongside with these applications, and they can all reside kind of in a single logical construct to really help and simplify the topology of this and be all kind of automated together. And I'll talk a little bit more about Sandbox in just a few minutes. The third use case is that Cloud Services Hub. So Cloud Services Hub is a very flexible deployment, and it leverages different types of network connectivity topologies and constructs available on AWS. So AWS, we used to have this transit VPC construct that we were talking about and implementing, and now there are new services, transit gateway services. So this is very flexible and can really support the different types of network connectivity structures to whatever suits the client best. And it's really about enabling flexibility of different departments to run on, build their own VPCs, their own applications, and then just plug it into a transit construct, a security services hub, to receive their security services, whether it's egress out to the internet or ingress inside into their data centers and protecting their applications. So this is a very flexible deployment. It's also, there are all kinds of use cases. We have a lot of collateral around it, also relevant for branch offices that are aggregating traffic and so on. Next use case is infrastructure and SaaS applications. So both SaaS and AWS both have a kind of an API and a lot of configuration. There are endless knobs and options, and it's pretty hard not to make a mistake. So in order to help our customers, we offer at the API level a set of tools with our FortiCASB that will help safeguard, kind of keep you on track with regards to not going out of compliance, et cetera, and giving you a good visibility for your global deployments on both SaaS and infrastructure as a service. And then security management in the cloud is also something we're seeing more and more popular as well. We're seeing customers with many, many branches, retail, and so on, and the ability to run management systems in the cloud with the flexible storage options. Even today, there's new even lower Glacier tier that was announced. And then, I mean, the whole matter of log management and retaining is becoming kind of a non-issue when you put your security management in the cloud, really. And that's another common use case we're seeing for enterprises. And the last one is remote access VPN, which also leverages the flexibility of the cloud, bringing stuff in and out of the cloud as you see right. Into different regions. Think of an organization running a big event such as this one, and you want to put your remote access VPN infrastructure pretty much closer to the event. And once the event is over, you don't need that infrastructure. So that ability to kind of mobilize infrastructure, templatize things around is pretty cool. So we were talking a little bit about use cases, but how does this fit into this new agile, more dynamic cloud ecosystem and new operational models associated with cloud? So let's start a little bit about a few very basic automation examples. So the first one is automated rollout. So we see some cases, I mean, there are customers of ours that are coming in from their on-premise, they're heavy on networking and infrastructure, and they're moving out to the cloud. So they're kind of familiar with our products, but we're also seeing development teams that have developed these beautiful and amazing applications, but are now tasked with, let's secure these applications, and they need a quick runway into how to secure that. So the ability to leverage CloudFormation templates, and we have a bunch on GitHub, as well as quick start guides, and we've just launched our first quick start guide, actually, which is the first of many to come. It really helps them ramp up very fast into deploying and attaching best-of-breed security right onto their applications that are running on AWS without the need to being a security expert and so on. The next scenario is really the ability to auto-scale. So for some applications, this works. For some, it doesn't. There are obviously all kinds of state-related considerations to keep in mind when you leverage an auto-scaling application. But an application that has kind of variable load and traffic and has seasonal pattern of usage, you want to enable that auto-scaling ability. You want to leverage the monitoring of the cloud infrastructure of those instances, being able to spin them up, have them sync with their peers and other instances, and be able to provide that level of elastic behavior in the same way that the applications that they're protecting are providing. So again, it's all the matter of the security being at the speed of the applications, being compliant with what the applications and the way they're behaved. And this is all programmable, gives you that better way to only use what you need in terms of resources, and when you need more resources, scale out. And these are definitely some of the more interesting capabilities from an automation standpoint, and enabling kind of that, accelerating that security alongside with your overall application deployment, and also a bunch of templates here on GitHub as well. So the next part is let's talk a little bit more specific on one application type. So collaboration applications, right? They're becoming definitely popular. Actually, some of our customers have their own set of applications where they have files being uploaded, and the risk of having your customers uploading files, whether it's your HR site uploading resumes or whether it's other files that are being uploaded just unsolicited, that's a significant risk because these files, you never know what they have. So the ability to integrate some kind of a zero-day protection into these files is something that we're seeing an increasing need for. And we offer a solution in the cloud called FortiSandbox in the cloud. FortiSandbox specifically is offered on AWS as well as a standalone and on-premise VM. But the cool part of it on AWS is that for any emulation, whenever it receives a new file to scan, for any emulation that is needed, whether it's on a Windows box or a Linux box, it will spin up another instance. It will send that file to that instance, emulate what's going on, trace back, detonate any potential malicious code, detonate that, and trace everything that that file is actually doing into an event that can then be blocked more actively by the firewall. So that's the level of integration into AWS. And the way that you integrate it into your applications is pretty cool. There are three different options. One is the more simple option with the FortiNet product, FortiGate, FortiWeb, FortiMail, that they will just send over OFTP the files into FortiSandbox. FortiSandbox will scan these files, and you can define whether if it's a good file, obviously they'll return it and say it's okay. If it's a bad file, you can decide if I want to quarantine it or I just want to destroy it or whatnot. The second method of integration, we offer a full JSON API. So we're seeing actually our customers, what they're doing is they're integrating procedures into their applications. Whenever there's an upload, they'll scan these files before they store them on the different data stores. So we're seeing that becoming very popular as well. And that's fully customizable and can be fully compliant with the different application workflows, et cetera. Right? And the third case is more specific integration with S3 buckets. So we provide those kind of templates where you can go and say, okay, have FortiSandbox monitor a certain bucket, and every time a new file is added into that bucket, FortiSandbox will then emulate that file. We'll kind of pull that file up, try to detonate it on one of the emulator VMs that is spinning up, right? And then based on the status of that file, it will either put it into a clean files directory that then an application can come and sweep out, or put it into a dirty files directory that then can be used for analysis or anything like that. So we offer these different types of integrations for different applications and different use cases, which is very flexible for our customers, and we're seeing this level of flexibility is something very favorable for our customers. So that's basically on the sandbox, and I've kind of highlighted a few cases where you can automate different security functionality into different application lifecycle stages or application development and application runtime routines, really. And that's, I think, the key of it. With the cloud and the infrastructure that the cloud provides, and the ability to automate pretty much anything, and the ability to templatize things and pull things as part of an overall routine that can tie together many elements of the application lifecycle, whether it's into the kind of DevOps, CI/CD pipelines, or other types of new agile methodologies. Security can really become something that you build it once and you reuse it many times and again, and enables more confidence in deploying applications and more types of applications in the cloud. And we're very committed to help our customers in that journey, providing them the different tool sets that are needed in order to build that kind of confidence and use the cloud more, deploy more applications in the cloud, and leverage security in the best way possible in that way. And we really see security as a kind of the new enabler for cloud adoption and for applications, and kind of helping organizations make the best out of this cloud revolution that we're all part of right now. So with that, I wanted to thank you. You can find definitely much more information about our different solutions for AWS and for the cloud on our website, fortinet.com/AWS. Feel free to contact us. And please visit our booth, number 1538. We'll show you demos. We have a ton of exciting stuff. And now let's do a little raffle to who gets to win. So yeah, thanks for that.